The introduction, setting the context of the American Civil War, serves as the foundational gateway into understanding the complexity and gravity of one of the most pivotal events in American history. By offering a clear definition and description, this section aims to lay the groundwork for exploring various facets of the Civil War. The American Civil War, fought from 1861 to 1865, was primarily a conflict between the Northern states, Union, and the Southern states, Confederacy, over issues such as states' rights, economic differences, and, most critically, the institution of slavery. Setting the context is crucial, as it allows for a comprehensive exploration of the war's profound impacts on American society, politics, and its legacy. The significance of setting this context lies in comprehending how deeply embedded issues like slavery and states' rights were, not only as causes of the war, but also as factors that shaped Reconstruction and modern American society. For example, the 1860 election of Abraham Lincoln, who opposed the expansion of slavery, served as a catalyst, illustrating the North-South divide. Another example is the economic disparity. The industrialized North contrasted starkly with the agrarian South, which relied heavily on slave labor. These examples illustrate how economic structures and political ideologies were at the heart of the conflict. Support for understanding this context can be drawn from historians like James M. McPherson, who argue that the war was fundamentally about the moral and economic implications of slavery. However, this perspective faces challenges and controversies. Some argue that the war was primarily about states' rights and sovereignty rather than slavery, a viewpoint often associated with the lost cause narrative that romanticizes the Southern cause while downplaying slavery's role. This introductory context connects and influences other aspects of the main topic by providing the necessary backdrop to discuss the war's course, its key battles, political maneuvers, and its long-lasting effects on American society. Understanding the context allows for a nuanced discussion of the Reconstruction era, the civil rights movement, and ongoing discussions about race and equality in the U.S. today. Without grasping this foundational context, exploring the intricacies of the Civil War would be challenging, if not impossible, for any in-depth analysis. The causes and catalysts of the conflict refers to the complex web of factors that led to the American Civil War, a pivotal moment in the nation's history. This heading delves into the underlying reasons and immediate triggers that drove the Union and the Confederacy into a brutal four-year struggle from 1861 to 1865. Understanding these causes is crucial as they illuminate the deep-seated divisions in American society and the enduring impact these issues have had on the nation's evolution. The significance of this point lies in the multifaceted nature of the causes, which include economic, political, and cultural disparities between the North and South. These disparities were primarily rooted in differing economic systems, with the industrialized North favoring tariffs and a market economy, while the agrarian South relied heavily on slavery for its economic prosperity. The moral and legal debates over slavery were more than just ethical disputes. They became a catalyst that ignited tensions into full-scale conflict. Two specific examples that illustrate these causes include the Dred Scott decision of 1857 and the election of Abraham Lincoln in 1860. The Dred Scott decision by the Supreme Court, which declared that African Americans could not be American citizens and that Congress had no authority to prohibit slavery in U.S. territories, exacerbated sectional tensions and diminished hopes for a political solution to the slavery issue. Meanwhile, Lincoln's election, which was perceived as a direct threat to the Southern way of life, led to the immediate secession of several Southern states, who feared the abolitionist policies he might enforce. Opinions supporting these views argue that slavery was more than a moral issue. It was an economic and cultural linchpin for the South, with the North's challenge to this institution being tantamount to a threat to their very existence. Challenges and controversies also abound. Some argue that states' rights and economic differences were more significant than slavery per se, though these are often seen as intertwined rather than separate issues. This discussion of causes and catalysts connects deeply to other aspects of the Civil War, such as the battles fought, the political maneuvers during the era, and the lasting legacy of Reconstruction. Understanding these causes helps us to comprehend how such divisions could develop and escalate, shedding light on the complexities of human conflict and offering lessons for navigating modern societal fractures. The concept of key battles and military strategies in the context of the American Civil War refers to the critical engagements and tactical decisions that shaped the course of the war between the Union, the North, and the Confederacy, the South, from 1861 to 1865. These battles and strategies were pivotal in determining the momentum of the war and ultimately its outcome. Understanding them is crucial as they highlight the complexities and challenges faced by both sides, revealing the ingenuity and determination that characterized the period. One of the most significant battles was the Battle of Gettysburg in July 1863. Seen as a turning point in the war, it halted the Confederacy's invasion of the North. This battle demonstrated the importance of terrain and communication in military strategy, with the Union Army's defensive positioning playing a crucial role in their victory. Another vital clash was the Siege of Vicksburg, where Union forces gained control of the Mississippi River, effectively splitting the Confederacy and crippling their supply lines. This dual victory on July 4, 1863, marked a decisive moment in the war, showcasing the importance of strategic locations and resource allocation. Military strategies during the Civil War also underline the evolution of warfare. The Anaconda Plan, devised by Union General Winfield Scott, aimed to suffocate the South by blockading their ports and controlling the Mississippi River. This strategy underscores the broader understanding of warfare beyond direct confrontation, emphasizing economic and logistical elements. Despite these examples, military strategies during the Civil War were not without controversy. The tactics often resulted in high casualties, leading to debates on their ethical implications. The war's attritional nature, where victory was often about depleting the enemy's resources and manpower, raised questions about the human cost of such strategies. Opposing viewpoints also existed, with some historians arguing that the focus on certain battles or strategies overshadows other important aspects, like diplomacy or the war's social impacts, including the role of African American soldiers and the emancipation of slaves. Yet, these key battles and strategies undeniably influenced other aspects of the Civil War. They dictated political decisions, influenced public opinion, and directly impacted the war's final resolution with the Union's victory and the subsequent reunification of the United States. Understanding these military aspects not only sheds light on historical military tactics and leadership, but also provides insights into the broader political and social consequences of the American Civil War. Notable figures and leadership roles refers to the key individuals who played significant parts during the American Civil War, primarily focusing on military, political, and social leaders whose decisions and actions shaped the course of the conflict. The leaders during this period included generals, politicians, and other influential figures whose contributions were pivotal in the context of the war. Understanding these figures and their roles is crucial to comprehending the strategies, outcomes, and impacts of the war on American history, as their leadership influenced the morale of troops, the direction of battles, and the legislation that followed the war. The significance of notable figures and leadership roles in the American Civil War is profound. Leaders like President Abraham Lincoln, Confederate President Jefferson Davis, Union General Ulysses S. Grant, and Confederate General Robert E. Lee were instrumental in guiding their respective sides through the complexities of war. Their leadership decisions not only influenced military tactics and outcomes, but also shaped the political and moral narratives of the time. The leadership demonstrated during the war left lasting legacies on American politics and society, influencing how future conflicts were approached and how the nation was reconstructed post-war. For example, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States, is celebrated for his role in preserving the Union and issuing the Emancipation Proclamation, which played a critical role in defining the moral cause of the war. On the Confederate side, Robert E. Lee is often noted for his tactical brilliance and leadership in several significant battles, despite the resource limitations faced by the Confederacy. These examples highlight how individual leadership can have far-reaching effects on historical events. However, Leadership during the Civil War was not without its controversies. The decisions made by these notable figures often sparked debate and divided public opinion. Critics of Lincoln questioned his suspension of habeas corpus, while Lee's decision to side with the Confederacy remains contentious to this day. Such controversies illustrate the complexities and challenges inherent in leadership during wartime. The leadership roles during the Civil War also connect to broader themes of loyalty, strategy, and human rights, influencing the war's progression and aftermath. Notable leaders were often the linchpins between military strategy and political objectives, and their legacies continue to inform discussions about leadership and governance. Thus, exploring these figures and their roles provides valuable insights into the influential dynamics that shaped this critical period in American history.